Morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is January 31st. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This market is pretty much nuts with earnings. Big earnings dropped. Microsoft, AMD, Google, and AMD seems to be catching a little bit of a bid right now. Google's down 5%. Microsoft's kind of flat. A couple earnings came out this morning. So Nasdaq and the S&P are very disconnected right now. Same with the Russell. The Russell's not getting affected by any of these earnings, so the Russell's up 0.29% pre-market. Dow's not being affected as much either with these earnings. SPY is down 0.36, 0.35 pre-market. It's catching a bid right now. And then the Qs are down 0.85. So paired some losses already, waiting for FOMC. Who knows? Maybe this is a buy the dip opportunity for some of these stocks. That's yet to be determined. We have FOMC today. Will Powell walk back some cut talk? I don't expect anything from the statement, but the press conference following, if he doesn't just avoid and they hammer him on a March rate cut, and if he walks it back or something, that could be bearish for the market. Not sure. He usually doesn't answer those questions directly. Without further, I don't even know how to speak today. Anyway, welcome to my channel. My name's Steven Gonzalez. I use Fine Profile, Market Profile, to find structure in the market, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, anchored VWAPs, and just the most traded price of the year, the rolling month, the rolling week, and the previous day. This all helps me find structure, stay on the side of strength. Right now, still, bulls are really in control. I mean, the Nasdaq did break a key level, so we'll get into that. But it's because of earnings, right? It's not a broad-based market sell-off. So that's yet to be seen yet, right? Because there's other sectors pushing up. Financials had a big day yesterday. Staples as well. So it's not just this overall market. Mag 7 is coming down back to earth a little bit. Who knows what happens from here? Okay. Anyway, subscribe, set an alert if you haven't already. All right. If you like what you see, always give me a thumbs up, and you can always follow me on X at Gonzo719. All right, so we can get right into the futures watch list. All right, now a day like today, the FOMC is at 2 p.m. followed by the press conference at 2:30. Expect some volatility. I would expect only tradable stuff for the first hour, and then you usually die down and look like a barcode waiting for Powell. Okay, so the leader today is the Russell. Now, obviously, it doesn't have those names in the Russell to bring it down, so that's why it's unaffected. All right, gold holding above 2K. Okay, up 0.2. 30-year bonds up 0.15. Dollars up 0.09. That's all going to change with the FOMC. Dow is up 0.06. 10-year yield will probably be flat up until FOMC. Silver is down 0.09. The VIX is down 0.23. ES down 0.43. Nasdaq's down 0.89. Crude, it's getting hit, and this is the pullback that I've been waiting for. Hopefully it pulls back nicely, right? Because I thought it was bottoming, which it has. If you look at CVX, Chevron and Exxon has made any energy name has come off the bottom, all right? So very interested in that. Bitcoin finally taking some selling here. They had a nice little run up for the last couple days. All right, Coin, Mara, all had some nice little moves. Now pulling back. Ether down 3.2%. All right. This morning, Boeing reported earnings. They actually beat, but then actually said they're not giving any guidance. With that being said, okay, they're up 0.63. Financials had a big day yesterday. All right, so Apple's kind of flat. Now let's get into the one percenters. So you got Bob is down 1.09%, Amazon's down 1.48, Nvidia's down 1.49, Coin down 1.87, Snow down 2%. All right, Meta down 2.26, Tesla's down 2.58, and a judge denied some pay package for Elon Musk. AMD, we know about the earnings, right? Um, it's pairing those losses. It was down to 160. It's kind of pushing back up now at 164 and a half. All right, Google is down 5%. It closed at 151. It's at 143. All right, so that's what's going on there. All right, now we can move our over to the top sector stocks. Oh boy, I didn't even show you guys that. So here we go. My apologies. So Boeing leading the pack. It's kind of rising now, up 0.78. And then we just go down here. I was just showing everybody Tesla, the two percenters, Snow, Meta, Tesla, AMD, Google. Sorry about that. And then we're moving on here. I'm off my game today. Um, moving on to the top sector stocks. All right, now Walmart is going to do the 3-for-1 stock split. So that's having Walmart getting a little catching a bid here, almost up 1% pre-market, close at 165.59, up at 167. Now we just had ADP employment change come out, forecasted 150, um, actual 107. That's actually kind of bullish. I don't know how much you're going to get from that. Anyway, Walmart stock split coming. Eli Lilly in news, they got their Ozempic versus another Novo has a competitor to that, so that's pretty interesting. Staples, Costco yesterday at $700 a share. My lord, that's very upsetting because I remember when that stock dropped to 405 and I was like waiting to buy it, and I was just like, and then that was the last time you got shot at that. That really stinks. That really stinks. But what are you gonna do? All right, so you got Walmart, Eli Lilly, and Costco, and now you got laggard would be Qualcomm reports earnings tomorrow or today. I gotta look at that again. We'll look at that together. And Exxon with the crude weakness. All right, and they report, I believe, Friday. Chevron and Exxon, and then Salesforce. Salesforce is down 1%. All right, now to the swing trades. My swing trade list. Let's look at the leaders there. Paramount Global. Byron Allen is looking to acquire the rest of the outstanding shares in there. That is why that is up 13%. Starbucks reported earnings yesterday. They're up 4.78%. Boston Scientific also reported earnings. They are up 4.22%. Lucid's up 3.47%. Skyworks had earnings. ADP up 2.27%. Humana, that's been destroyed, that's up 1.37%. So those are kind of the ones that are hanging out there. Okay, now it looks like laggards here. AMD shouldn't be in that list. Even all right. So now here we go with the cryptos. Mara down 3.53%. SoFi, Datadog, Riot, MicroStrategies. These are all like Bitcoin related stocks. EA reported earnings. Supermicro Computers reported earnings. Taiwan Semiconductors, ARM, MasterCard just had earnings. Okay, Lululemon and Veritiv, Fortinet, CrowdStrike, Trade Desk. All oh, that's interesting. KRE, the regional bank ETF. I thought that was up. That's interesting. Usually when that is up, that follows the Russell. All right, so that's basically the laggards. Okay, not too bad in this list, right? Because they're not Microsoft, Google, or AMD. Okay, so we go back. Oh, go back to the leaders. We go back to top sectors. We can go to sectors now, and let's look at this together. The leader, interesting, utilities. Utility sectors leading. Healthcare, so defensive, leading the pack today. Industrials, okay, financials. This is why the market's not like tanking, right? Not everything's negative. It's because it's earnings based. You got energy, discretionary. That's Amazon. That's your Tesla. That's your Home Depot. Technology. That's your Apple and your Microsoft. That's your Nvidia. Obviously, semis is also Nvidia, AMD. Makes sense. Communications, the big one, Google. That's going to take down communications. Okay. There's a disconnect there. All right, now we can move on to some news. I don't have a ton, but let's look at the economic calendar together. And there's no mystery here, right? FOMC today, right? We just had ADP employment change. Expected 125, fell short of that, 107. I would say that's a minor bullish thing. That's some weakness. All right. Usually they always beat. That's interesting. We got Chicago PMI at 945. 1030, you got crude inventory. 2 p.m., that's the big one, FOMC. Expecting 5.5, expecting no change. That's pretty much baked in. We know nothing's happening today, but the market's pricing in a March rate cut. Okay, now the Fed press conference is all what everybody's going to be listening to. Does Powell become less apt to talk about how many cuts? Does he walk it back? That will be bearish, right? If he stands firm and makes it sound like the amount of cuts he's ready to do, then maybe that doesn't do anything. Maybe he just keeps it bullish. Who knows? Tomorrow's initial jobless claims. All right, then you got the ISM manufacturing at 10 a.m. Okay. As far as any other news, let's see. Let's look at this chief economist at ADP. Progress on inflation has brightened the economic picture despite a slowdown in hiring and pay. Wages adjusted for inflation have improved over the past 6 months, and the economy looks like it's headed toward a soft landing in the U.S. globally. Okay. So that's kind of the news there. Let's look at earnings that is yet to drop. All right. So this morning, Novo Nordisk, that has that competitor to Eli Lilly's Ozempic. They reported Boeing, MasterCard, Thermo Fisher, Boston Scientific, Hess, right? Now, after the close today, Qualcomm, Aflac, MetLife, so some insurance, right? Tomorrow, big one, I would say, obviously, is Meta and Amazon. I'm sorry, Meta, Amazon, and Apple. Big ones after the close tomorrow. So very interesting. FOMC today. And regardless if we rip higher or we go down, those are huge earnings for tomorrow. Okay. And then Friday you have the monster oil companies in Chevron and Exxon reporting. Give me one sec. Just want to see if there's any more news that I didn't cover. Let's just look at it. All right. Preview Apple set for modest iPhone sales growth. China worries remain. Apple sales likely rose 3% in the key holiday period, the best growth in 5 quarters, but analysts expect a tough year for the company in China. We talked about the investors punish Microsoft Alphabet as AI returns fall short of lofty expectations. There's the judge's void of Elon Musk's unfathomable 56 billion Tesla peg package. There's that Novo Nordisk expects double-digit growth as a boost. Wegovy supplies. All right, that's the weight loss competitor to Eli Lilly's Ozempic. Okay. I'm just trying to see anything else. Talked about that. Microsoft, not really. I think Nasdaq Inc. is laying people off. Let's see. Skyworks. No, 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 no. I just want to look at anything that's very standout that we haven't talked about yet. I talked about this Paramount Global media entrepreneur Byron Allen has submitted a $30 billion offer for the company. Okay. That's why that's up so much. And then the Walmart, I talked about this Walmart. The retailer said on Tuesday it will carry out a stock split of its outstanding shares at a ratio of 3 to 1 as part of the ongoing review of optimal trading and spread levels. Shares of the big box retailer rose after the bell. The company said the stock split would increase the number of outstanding common stock to about 8.1 billion from 2.7 billion. The additional shares will be payable after market close on February 23rd. All right. So let's see here. Some analysts, AMD, Bernstein raises target price to 140 from 120. On Google, Roth AKM cuts target price from 164 to 164 from 166. Microsoft, RBC raises target price to 450 from 415. And UPS is just getting destroyed. UPS is JP Morgan cuts target price. All right. That's really all I wanted to cover there. We can get over to the daily charts. This market's very odd when these big earnings come out, so it's a big disconnect right now, and that's not what I wanted to show. That's not what I wanted to show. It's amateur hour right now for me. Jesus. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's look at the daily chart. Let's just zoom in to here. All right. So obviously, breakout. Yesterday we held those highs, right? But we know we got some weakness because of earnings after the market close. Okay, so where are we now? 489.09. 489.09 is a gap down. And what is that? Where does that take us, right? That is right at the previous week's highs. Right at right here. We're sitting on the previous week's highs. Also happens to be the breakout period. The breakout level from these three candles. So, obviously FOMC could take all this out and we could drop to 482. Right? There's big gamma level at 495 above us. So, very interesting. Alright, so SPY is not that weak right now, even after those earnings. Okay. Now, what happens when the market opens? Who knows? Do people buy AMD and Google? Do they sell them in panic? We'll find out. Let's look at the Qs. So the Qs here. Let's look at the move in this range, right? Inside this range, inside last week's highs and lows. Okay, so it's obviously weaker. Okay, kind of like held this 2 days level here, right? Came down to here, but where are we at now? 421.80, 421.80. So we're gapping down 421.80 right here. Okay, we're basically at the lows of these two candles close to last week's lows right here. So in a very interesting spot, it's actually right here. Okay, so it broke a key level. All three of these, it's under all of these candles, and it's down here. Okay, but it did break a key level, so we'll monitor that. Okay, and that Russell's still moving higher right now, and the Dow and the Russell are positive right now, right? So interesting. All right, let's move over to the triple-headed monster. Let's go over to that 10-year yield. Let's report it. That 10-year yield is right now down 0.71. You can see it right here. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Remember, yields go lower, market goes higher, right? This is a pretty decent pullback and a little surprising, being that these earnings just dropped, right? You're gapping down before an FOMC. Okay. Like I said, we just rose. Yields rose and the market rose. Somebody's lying. Okay. This is the smart money, the bond money. So this is under the 200-day moving average, declining 50-day moving average. Okay. Can this be the swing low that pushes it up after FOMC, or does it continue to fall today with Powell? This is big, big, big. Okay. Very interesting. Now we got the dollar. The dollar's been in this range, right at the 200-day moving average. Just keeps going back and forth, back and forth. I would expect we break out to this range, which would be bad for equities, or we break down, which would be good for equities after Powell speaks. Okay. Now, let's just go over to the market profile, volume profile. This market is definitely a weird one when they're so disconnected. It's just weird. So, makes the trading environment a little harder. Okay, so let's look at the market profile structure. Okay. So here we go. Here's the rolling profile. Now, what do you see here, right? We have a very weird profile. So you got a distribution here and a distribution here, right? With not a lot of excess at the top here. You can see it because here we tested these highs, overnight tested the highs, came back there yesterday, tested these highs. So that's a big weak high here. And you can see in the profile here, it's very flat. So this makes it that if that FOMC comes out and it's positive, it's going to rip. Okay. It's going to rip higher. Okay. Now, most trader price, like I said yesterday, is equal 49.16. It's right here. That's the monster level. Price is right here, 49.30. Okay. So we are gapping down lower. We are underneath the week-to-date VWAP. It's red. Sellers are in control for the week. Okay. Yesterday, we held, like I spoke about pre-market, the 50% retracement of the move. We came down here, cleaned a little bit of those single prints out, and then pushed back up. That's all the market had in it. Because the only thing that was negative was tech. And the rest of the market was kind of green. Like I said, financials being the second largest sector weight in the S&P was big up yesterday. Okay. So today it's a little weird because you got FOMC. So like I said, the trading will be muted probably after the first hour. But right now you're gapping down. Okay, here's yesterday's highs, yesterday's lows, overnight highs, overnight lows. So you got a gap down right here, right? You got a very balanced market. You have 100% net short. Everyone's short. Okay, big orders hitting the tape right now. Right, price is moving around a decent amount. All right, so whenever you have a gap down like this, and we came down into this demand zone and found buyers. Okay, also it's the big trading price, that 49.16, or it's the most traded price of the week in the last month. Huge level. Okay, just so happens we're right back there for FOMC, so a big monster move is going to happen, up or down. Okay, don't know which way it's going to go. So this is the defense for the bulls. Okay, so I don't think a big move. Now those earnings came out, so you really have to see if those big stocks that are down pre-market get bought up in the when the market opens. I think that really determines what the market's going to do. Okay, because I feel, to me, before FOMC, you kind of want to be neutral. So in a bullish way, if those stocks are defended and bought, and maybe sellers take profits, this should be the defense. And then I would surmise we hang out around here for FOMC. Or you could even break it and come back here and hang out. Okay. So first, let's get into scenarios. Okay. I'm not loving it. This the way this is, the disconnect of the Nasdaq and the ES, and then you have FOMC. It's like so weird. All right. So here's our gap fill. Okay. Which happens to be also the breakout level to the left, right? All right. So here's the gap fill. Here's price. We're gapping lower. Okay. I could feel this being a little bit of a bear trap, possibly. Like I said, those other stocks have to get bought up at the open. But we're 100% net short. All right. Shorts from here, shorts from here. Okay. If you get problems here and you start whipping back, like I said, we could go right back up and wait for FOMC. So let's take a look at scenarios here. Obviously, you can gap and go, but look where we're at, and the market's selling a little bit right here as I'm speaking. This big level in demand zone is a huge level. Okay, huge. Usually don't cut like that, cut through that like butter, but if you do, you got to take it as a sign sellers are pretty strong. Okay, see, this has a kind of a poorish low. It's gonna break probably as I'm speaking. It's gonna do this. Okay, it's gonna give the excess that it needs. Okay, healthy market, healthy day has an excess. So that's probably gonna push lower. Okay, now let's talk about it again. I'm sorry, all over the place. That's the gap fill, right? So number one scenario is the most bearish is a gap and go, but look, you have to crush that big level. Okay, but we have to put it in there. All right, that's the most bearish. Second most bearish is a failure to fill the gap and you roll, but again, you got that big level there. Okay, so you have to really chop through that to move back down here to the bottom of this balance. Okay, to about 4,900. Okay, third, push up, fill the gap. You have a supply zone and week to date VWAP here. That could be a good rejection. Also, I would probably take some profit here and see if you can actually move past it. Okay, I'm doing some muted moves here because of FOMC. These are, and I don't know why I'm using green because this is bearish. Sorry about that. So those are the bearish plays. Okay. Now, if you're a little bull for the morning, okay, like I said, big level here, demand has not been broken, and it could be a little bear trap. Okay, so see we have a poor low here. I expect this to push down in here and test this level. I expect that. So if you push down here and you try, even if you whip like this and come across this big level, you're gonna catch a bid. And I would guess you probably fill the gap in week to date VWAP, which is right here, and then we can do this and wait for FOMC. That's really all. I don't see a big move. Obviously, there's outliers. Something can happen. I feel that's what you might see. You might see further selling on the open with the stocks that are down. Further selling as we hit the big level. People buy them up. Sellers take profits. We push up, and then FOMC. So I'm really going to be patient for that if that happens. Like I said, I'm not in love with this market right now because the disconnect between the NASDAQ and the rest of the market. Okay? All right. Oop. That is the scenarios to the ES. All right. NASDAQ, let's move on to that. It's going to look different. Okay? It's going to look different. All right. Let's bring this in here. All right. All right, let's look at this NASDAQ together. Okay. So we have big move down, right? So here's our weekly profile. Very thin. And then you got value area, and then you got the top. Okay. Now, I mean, I should have mentioned this yesterday, but this profile had a very bearish imbalance to it. And now look, it made the excess. It finally made the excess. Okay. Most traded price of the week still around here. We're below that, right? Bearish. Okay. Call it 175.50, the most traded price of the week. Bearish. We're below it. Okay. Big gap down. Okay. Big gap down. And yesterday opened up. We came right into this supply, and then we sold down to here, pushed up, went right to the most traded price of the week, and that's where we closed. But then, boom, earnings happened, and we're 100% net short. Came all the way down here. Okay, came all the way down here. So this finally held below this most traded price of the week. That's bearish, right? If you look to the left here, these lows have been breached now, like I just showed you. Okay, we haven't hit these single prints yet from the past. We haven't hit those. Okay, that would fuel the market even down farther. You clean those singles out. Okay. Well, you know what? I didn't move those singles back. Hold on. Actually, I misspoke here. Here is the singles. They only count to get clean in the real-time trading hours anyway. All right, so big gap lower, hard to trade those big gap lowers. Okay, they're very, very, very hard to trade. All right, so you have the breakout of the bottom of the area, balance areas right here with the 90-MA daily right there. You want to stay under there if you're a bear. If you start creeping back into this range, we're gonna wait for FOMC up here. Okay, so what do we have? Yesterday's highs, yesterday's lows, overnight highs, overnight lows. Price is kind of in the middle of the overnight. Okay, kind of in the middle of the overnight. The midpoint of the overnight, right here, 50% of it, we're below it, right? And that's right with the breakdown level of these lows. Okay, so if you're a bear, you want to stay under there. Okay, back into the range is probably not that great for sellers. Okay, we have made it a low. We're well off the lows, kind of in the middle of the range. And again, the gap fill is here. Gap fills right here. Okay, so again, same thing. Gap and goes. Big bearish. Fair to fill the gap. That's filling the gap. With failure to fill the gap, you could roll over. Fill the gap, roll over. Okay, if you go back into range and fill the gap, we're probably going to hang out in here, wait for FOMC. Okay, this is a wild one. This NASDAQ, I'm not sure what I want to do. I don't think I would touch NASDAQ today. I'm not sure, just because of this big gap lower. And it's kind of nuts. SPY is stronger, so I'd probably rather long a SPY than a Qs right now. But you never know, right? So the scenarios really quickly, because I got to take my daughter to the bus. Very similar. Let's do the bear first. You got supply zone right here. Okay, this is the 50% pullback, 90 MA daily, bottom of the range. You could fail right in here and come lower, right? Take out these single prints. That could definitely happen. Okay, that's really because like once you come back into here, I don't think that's that's a good for a bear, because the FOMC. Bullish, okay, that has to happen where you can even push down a little bit, take out the supply. If you hold back, you're probably going to go right to here, most traded price of the week, in the middle of this range, and you're going to hold for the FOMC. Okay, I do not really like this setup at all in the NASDAQ. Okay, it's just too weak, and you don't know what's going to happen. Okay, that is it for me today. All right, if you could give me a like if you liked what you saw, that'd be much appreciated. And good luck to everybody today. I'm probably going to not trade, probably, if unless that scenario I put in the SPY and the ES comes to fruition and I really see it, I really like it. But other than that, not really liking today. And I'm not a big trader after FOMC, so I might just watch. Okay, and then you still got non-farm payrolls on Friday, so big stuff coming. So good luck to everybody. Stay green. If not, sitting on your hands as a trade.